Hey there, welcome back to True North Reviews. My name is Ryan, and today we are reviewing the new Lana Del Rey record, Norman Rockwell. This is the sixth studio album from the American singer-songwriter. This is following up her 2017 record, Lust for Life. I didn't care much for it, much like the rest of her material prior to that. The first time I was intentionally exposed to Lana's music came back in 2015 with her feature on the Weeknd song Prisoner. I still can't stand the breathy timbre of Lana's voice on that one, and just the overall immature sense of high school drama I got from many of her lyrics, not only for this Weeknd song, but for many of her other songs too. To change those preconceived notions though, we had a couple singles, a mini EP if you will, released towards the end of 2018. Mariner's Apartment Complex and Venice Bitch both dropped, and I was amazed with both of them. I loved the evolution to Lana's sound, moving towards something more progressive, and also the lyrical growth that was displayed on both of these tracks in such a quick and short turnaround. I was also impressed by. The breathy timbre still, however, did plague a good portion of the newer single that we got earlier this year, Hope is a Dangerous Thing for a Woman Like Me to Have. Despite this, I enjoyed this single as well, and it made my expectations that much higher coming into this Lana Del Rey record. Now diving into the track list on Norman Rockwell, we kick things off with the title track. We have some stunningly beautiful piano playing over top of majestic scenery and wondrous vocals. We have Lana singing about the current state of society and how we can find humor in all that we do. In the past, you'd catch me saying that Lana Del Rey, yeah, she has breathy timbre to her voice, and it's just not that enjoyable to sit through. However, with a track like F It, I Love You on this new record from her, I am gobbling up the breathy vocals. They're actually backed by a pretty solid tune. Even Lana Del Rey's sublime cover of Doin Time goes over really well. Bartender is another track on here I love because of the emphasized bar-t-t-tender. We have some hypnotic piano that just flourishes over this track and many others too. Going back to those singles I mentioned earlier in the video, Mariner's Apartment Complex, I love this one. We have this Mellotron-led track. It's one of my favorite from 2018. I think it landed in my top 10 of my best songs of 2018, in my opinion. And Venice Bitch is hard to pass up on this record as well. We have this extended outro with the electric and the acoustic guitars. I love the effect that the pedals have on the guitar solo. This cut also acts as a lyrical extension to the title track and how society's infatuation with nostalgia is just plaguing us. We also continue the story of American ideals. We have Lana Del Rey mulling over the snapshot that she has created of her life, where she is questioning what has made her and her lover so happy. And all of this happens while we're referencing the Tommy James and the Shondells song Crimson and Clover. It's amazing. What impresses me the most about this record though is again the mature songwriting we get from Lana Del Rey. She teamed up with Jack Antonoff of Bleachers fame to pump out many of these cuts, some of them including How to Disappear and California, and really the message rings loud and clear with these two tracks. We have Lana Del Rey reminding us to be true to ourselves. I'm always going to be here, no one's going anywhere, you don't have to be stronger than you really are. Both of these lyrics call back to the Wise Blood record that we had earlier this year in 2019, not necessarily as enchanting with the instrumentation and atmosphere, but reaffirming and inspiring for people who are going through tough times. The most interesting thing about this brand of inspiration is how the music is ironically sad sounding. We have passive and breathy vocals, depressed and brooding guitars. Usually these musical elements are indicative of depressing lyrics, but it's actually the opposite, which is pretty cool. In addition to this, Norman Rockwell wraps itself up with a well thought out and cogent conclusion. Lana Del Rey's motives are made clear on the track Cinnamon Girl, as she says, like, if you hold me without hurting me, you'll be the first who ever did. It's pretty clear that she wants to love someone the same way she would treat others, with full devotion and commitment. Then we come to the closing track, which is even more effective in the context of the record. We find out that Lana Del Rey has been unhappy all along, Don't ask me if I'm happy, you know that I'm not, but at best I can say I'm not sad. Essentially, after this entire album, we see all this devotion and commitment kind of go to waste. All that Lana has done to help out her lover or friend, it's kind of gone by the wayside. My interesting theory about the ending of this album, I firmly believe that Lana Del Rey is kind of disguising herself as this friend or lover though. Just as Norman Rockwell paints and illustrates his ideal version of America, Lana Del Rey is painting her picture-perfect world of loving someone else. And how does she paint that picture? Well, referring back to the paint that Lana Del Rey mentions on the opening track, she relies on people's opinions of her, their paintings of her. And that can be tough because people's opinions of us, they kind of take an effect. You might be disappointed to see that other people don't think of you as highly as you think of yourself. And lo and behold, on the opening track, we have someone painting Lana Del Rey in blue, a typical color for sadness. She admits that this color could also be a product of being a certain sex in society. Amazingly enough, Lana Del Rey is pointing out that some people's behaviors are beyond our personal commitments and emotions, and they sometimes seem to be defined by our gender roles. Regardless, she decides to maintain her hopeful mindset on this final track, which is dangerous because people will continue to let her down, but at the end of the day, she has to face the truth that she will always have herself, and that's the imperative moral of the story. Overall, this Lana Del Rey record is great. I was sitting on the edge of my seat listening to this, no matter how many times I was going through it, even by like the 6th or 7th listen. And it's weird for me to be liking this album as much as I do because I can trace a lot of elements back to other artists like Florence Welch. Lana Del Rey comes through with lots of imagery, gorgeous and diary-like compositions. She also enlisted Jack Antonoff for a lot of the songwriting, and that's really calling back to some songs that I can think of from Lorde. And this album is certainly riddled with nostalgia, so with those three things going for it, like the comparison that I made to Florence Welch of Florence and the Machine, Lorde, and the nostalgia thing, I am thoroughly content with what I can take away from this album. I'm feeling an 8 out of 10. There's the review of the new Lana Del Rey record. Sound off down below in the comments. Let me know what you think of this music. Is it worth your time? Leave a like, subscribe if you're new in town. Thanks for watching, and as always, have a rockin' day.